Hi there, it's Kevin with Gathering Magic coming with match number 4 with Skred Red. Pretty much on tilt right now, to be honest with you. Pretty upset with the Scrying Sheets bug. I do feel like I'd like to see the outcome of both of the matches previously, where if the bug would have really done much to the outcome or not. I know for a fact we've lost, I believe we're up to 4 draws that it's cost us. Anyway, we're going to keep this hand. This is a very good hand with double Skred. This is actually what you want to see. 2 lands. You have action. We have a plan for a Phoenix. We can first turn put out the Spellbomb. Going up against WotC coverage Peter R, huh? And it's a Gitaxian Probe. Could be Storm. It could be any of the Delve decks. So if it's Storm, Storm is actually a very, very terrible matchup for Skred. You're just too slow. Molten Rains are okay against Storm, and that's really the only saving grace you have. They won't be able to land a Goblin Electromancer, but it shouldn't really matter. Oh, actually, we do have Relics. Never mind. We're okay versus Storm. We do have the Relic. But a lot of Storm decks can actually go off without having a graveyard if they can just slam like 2 Pyromancer's Ascensions. Good news, he's already down to 17. If he shocks himself, he's down to 15. But it's just an Island and a Serum Visions. And we'll go ahead and throw out a Pyrite Spellbomb. Actually, I'd love to see like a Mind Stone next turn. We can get out that early Koth. Skred does phenomenal against Delver, if it's Delver, so I'll definitely be looking forward to that matchup. No turn 2 play. Another Skred. And we'll pass the turn. And he'll Thought Scour me. I don't understand a Delve deck that would ever... Yeah, I don't understand. He's maybe looking for more information. But usually if you're playing like Thought Scours, you're running a deck that itself wants cards in the graveyard. If you're Storm, of course you're going to be doing it to yourself. If you are Delve, Esper Delve, you're definitely going to be doing it yourself. So I'm thinking maybe Twin is the only other option. And I don't think I need to cycle the Spellbomb quite yet. There's a Fallout. If it's Twin, I got to keep these up. I can't chance it. So we're not going to go Phoenix. We're just going to pass the turn and see if he goes Deceiver Exarch. I think this is most likely Twin. That's my only reasoning that he would Thought Scour. So he's going to Gitaxian Probe again. The Fallout's going to be impossible for him to go off with Pestermite. Oh, and it's a Storm. But he Thought Scoured me, which is just very unusual. So I need to find a land, and then we need to go Koth. But most likely he's just going to be able to go off. He ditches one of his own Pyromancers. Wish there was something I could do. Maybe Volcanic Fallout and turn to 2 damage is just better. I think that we do want to cycle the Pyrite Spellbomb to try to draw a card, our land. So we hit the land, and now we can Koth. But it's very rare if he doesn't go off this turn. He doesn't have a Pyromaster Ascension quite yet. So he's down to a 10. And see if he gets an Ascension here, though. Or even Electromancer out. Yeah, so maybe Koth wasn't the right play. Gitaxian Probe's again, but he has to win this turn or I win next turn. Now, they can just miss. He's missed a lot of his. He doesn't have... He doesn't have a... And he does have the Pass in Flames. So he just needs to find, he does have the Grape Shot for 9. And I believe this will be enough damage. Because then he can just, yeah, then he can just flash it back. All right, so we'll go on to the second game. The problem with this is I don't think that, I might bring in Dragon's Claws. I don't think they really do too much. But they just might. Molten Rain is beautiful in this matchup. Volcanic Fallout is actually something that can kill his Goblin Electromancer, and I just think it's better than Skred. Because it can still do damage to him. We still want the Mind Stones. Pyrite Spellbombs, Pia and Kiran Nalaar are just going to be too slow. I think that we take them out for maybe a few Dragon's Claws. I'm not quite sure against Storm if we can get up to any sort of like insane life total. Yeah, I actually don't think Dragon's Claws are worth it. Rending Volley can still take, I guess Skred can still take care of his Electromancer, which is something we want to see. And the Pia and Kiran Nalaar is at least still aggro. So I think that we keep him in. Maybe Volcanic Fallout's just too slow. Oh, we want to boil. Yeah, I'm going to bring in another Pia and Kiran Nalaar and just see if we can out-aggro him. We'll submit this. So apparently they nullified the match where the Scrying Sheets didn't work. I'm going to submit the same one for... I think we keep this. It doesn't really have any... Relic. Maybe I just do Moldo a Relic against Storm. But I think I first turn Bolton for sure. He keeps his hand. Because if he goes crazy with Taxing Probes again, he got himself down to 7, and we only did 4 damage. So I got him. He did 9 points of damage to himself. And even if you get him really low with... Yeah, so there's a good Taxing Probe, so that's helping us out. Does not shock himself, so we'll bolt. Have another bolt for his Electromancer. So I'd hate to see like a Pyromancer's Ascension here. And there's a Pyromancer, so I think that we bolt and bolt. And now we just got to pray that we can outrace this. Down to a 7. He finds another island source. Yeah, not quite sure, especially Electromancer, he could just go off. So I might have kept up a... Another bolt for the Electromancer. Because there's no way, I don't think I can dish out enough damage next turn. It'd require a Koth to do so. Yeah, we Spellbomb the Goblin. Get him down to a 4. He has no counters on his stuff. He couldn't go off last turn, so he's using Metamorphose as well. Neither one of those. He wanted both those cards, so that's actually bad for him. Sleight of Hand still doesn't put a counter on. So he can't cast a good Taxing Probe except with mana. And that should do it. All right. Should do it. Grape Shot, I believe, is a sorcery? Okay, so we did outrace Storm, which is pretty hard to do. I still think this is the best line of play. Well, Blood Moon actually is pretty bad, now that I think about it. Probably just a wasted card that Volcanic Fallout. Maybe Dragon Claw just does better. Other than I can lock him out with the Blood Moon and Molten Rain combo. I know that I have locked out a Storm deck. They tend to play a lot of basics by completely hitting their blue and then not being able to fetch a blue. So I think that's a better plan than relying on Skred to take care of an Electromancer. I could be wrong. This is another one of those hands that I just don't know if it's going to get there. I'm going to keep it, but unfortunately we don't get the Relic once again. But we can take care of the Electromancer. But the double Pia and Kiran Nalaar is actually quite weak. Molten Rain's a great draw. We do need to draw into the land. So he probes. You can see my not so ideal hand. Game 1 he might have thought scoured me. Did he actually game 1 Serum Visions and then thought scour me because he didn't want to, he liked the cards on top? Maybe that was the play. Don't have a Pyromaster Ascension. Alright, this one I don't think we're going to be able to race. It's just going to be too slow. We can Molten Rain next turn. Hate to see a Serum Visions here. Sleight of hand. Okay, that's a little bit better than a Serum Visions. He does want to hit another land drop. And he does hit it. So I think we actually need to cycle this Pyrite Spellbomb. And hits a Pyromancer's Ascension. Yeah, we need to hit a Relic. That is not a Relic. Another Bolt. But this leaves us kind of vulnerable to an Electromancer this turn. Unless he just has an Electromancer and not a land. Now, Polluted Delta should save that. If he does somehow get Taxing Probe twice, he's gonna attempt to go off here. Oh, he's got a Splice Desperate Ritual. That's rough, because that will allow him to get the counters on it. So he needs a Manamorphose in hand. Pass in Flames means he can still miss. It's going to be very hard for him to miss, though. But it is possible. Because he does only have 4 draws. 5 draws. But it ends up being 8. And another Pyromancer's Ascension. So he's going to have plenty of mana. So we need some major luck here. Also with the Scry is going to be very, very good. I guess maybe being a more aggressive mulliganing to either a Mindstone Koth would have been the right move, and or of course the best card, Relic of Progenitus, shuts down the Pyromaster Ascension. But without double, or with double Pyromaster Ascension, both active now, with still another Pass in Flames in the bin, I guess he could just miss another Manamorphose and just be stuck, because he has one more blue mana. But with that many Scries, he's gone through an insane amount of... Alright, he's definitely out of mana with the... Oh, now he's not out of mana. I hope he goes for the Empty the Warrens, though, rather than a Grape Shot. So maybe Dragon's Claw... How much does Dragon's Claw actually do? Now, but with the Gataxian Probe now, he sees that he doesn't even have to go with Empty the Warrens. And he can just draw into the Grape Shot. So he can't miss now with the mana. Guess we can pull up this graveyard. Yeah, I guess it doesn't let you pop it out anymore. Yeah, so my only hope is just that a Grape Shot was sided out for whatever reason. Don't know there's any point to casting any of these rituals. He's got plenty of mana. Still doesn't have the Grape Shot. 11 cards left in his deck, though. Oh, there's a Grape Shot with his 20 spells here. So that is game. Maybe the Dragon's Claw, because he would have casted a bunch of spells. Gains enough life, and he's got to go through more. But that's game. Hard matchup unless there's a Relic. We need the Relic. Should have aggressively mulled. And it is nowhere to be found. That is an understatement. Alright, so we'll go into the wrap-up video. This has been Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching. Hi there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com here with the wrap-up video for this week's Playing on a Budget. Yeah, we didn't do too hot with a few of the games I still think could have gone either way without the Scrying Sheets bug. Because we did need this card, both games, to actually be the 2-mana activation rather than the 3-mana that MTGO Joe is requiring. And I think that I muffed up that last match with Storm and should have mulliganed a lot more aggressively to a Relic. Maybe taken out and maybe brought in. I don't think there's anything else I could bring in. We have no enchantment hate in the deck. I know that in the past I've had an Ugin in the sideboard. I don't think Ugin would really work versus Storm either because it'd be very hard to get up to an Ugin. But Ugin is definitely a deck that could be put in versus the control matchups. It would work very well versus that that white-blue control if we could slam it. But we did end up seeing a lot of the more problematic matchups for Skred, and none of those are unwinnable though. If you do hit a Relic versus Storm, that tends to be the trump card, as you can just start eating their graveyard, and then when they try to establish the Pyromancer's Ascension, you use the Relic and exile their graveyard. The thing about that though is Storm is very capable without the Pyromancer's Ascension, without the graveyard, to assemble enough cards in their hand just to go off in one turn. So, and that, I think that's what the Empty the Warrens was put in, specifically to kind of combat Relics. If you needed to just storm off one turn for like 6 and then cast an Empty the Warrens, then hopefully 12 1/1s will get the job done. Volcanic Fallout though, I definitely should have thought about Empty the Warrens and kept in the Volcanic Fallout, because that's kind of the trump card to the Empty the Warrens strategy. The other matches we saw it handle Jund quite easily, and Blood Moon playing a very good role in that game. The Affinity, I still say that Skred is very well positioned, with some pretty unfortunate mulligans and not finding key components, and our opponent being able to draw out of some sticky situations that ended up not going our way either. But as Shattering Spree, Shatterstorm, you can go up and count against Affinity if you are worried about that matchup. If Tron, there's cards, there's a card out of Battle for Zendikar that exiles non-basic lands, as well as Sowing Salt that exiles non-basic lands and searches a player's library for that copy of all those non-basic lands and gets rid of them. Blood Moon tends to do really well against both Amulet Bloom and Tron, unless they keep up mana for either Seal of Primordial or Nature's Claim. So all in all, I think Skred is a very good, well-rounded deck that I would play in the field, and it doesn't cost too much to get into. Your main investments are the Blood Moons, and everything else is under $5 in the entire deck. And so it's something that you can start picking up the pieces, and you can even play this deck without Blood Moon, because Blood Moon is specifically good against many matchups, but there are a ton of matchups where Blood Moon is just a dud, and it's more of a sideboard card. But I do highly suggest making that investment in the Blood Moons. Hope you enjoyed this match, even though it didn't quite go our way. Well, maybe I'll play some more matchups if you're interested on my channel, YouTube/Rogue Deck Builder. And in the past, I've played a ton of matchups with Skred Red. So go ahead and check that out. And next week, we'll try to hit back to Standard, do a Standard League, and see how well we can do with a budget deck in a Standard League. This is Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching.